Today we're back with 5 of the biggest stories in the recent mobile gaming news. We're talking about PUBG Mobile, we're talking about MoCo, and more. Stay tuned so you're up to date on everything that's going on your phone in the world of gaming. So if you're someone that loves mobile games, this is the channel that you should be subscribing to right now. Let's dive into the first story. And that has to do with MoCo making a comeback. This is something I've been covering here on the channel for quite a long time. It's a Supercell action RPG-ish game. I've been out to Finland to test out the game and to be on the MoCo podcast, and really, this is a game that I've covered quite a bit and I'm very excited about. And it's coming back. One of my favorite champions has just returned to Raid Shadow Legends, and you could get him today, in addition to more legendary champions and more epic champions, all for free, because I gave you the hookup with the QR code up above and with my link in the description. Let me give you all the details, and thanks to Raid for sponsoring the video. So what do you get for free? First of all, you get one of the most beastly dwarfs inside of the game, Tholin. He's a nuker that you love, that I love, and that you get for free as soon as you download the game with my link. This is an amazing champion because he's gonna be a nuker for you until the end game. Then you're gonna get 3 epics. One of them is Uugo, who, isn't she just gorgeous? Okay, maybe she's not gorgeous, but she is a great support champion for you that you will also use until the end game. I know, an epic that's worthwhile until end game, she's one of them. Then you get who I like to call the old man. He is one of the best buffers inside of the game, and to get him on day 1, you just put in code WRATH, and then he's yours to support Tholin and your epics that you unlock as well. What a great start. I know. But what's very special right now is the return of one of my favorite IPs of all time. I'm talking about He-Man. Right here, 7 days. You get yourself Skeletor, a legendary champion. The 3rd free legendary champion you get utilizing my QR code or my link. You also get gear to put him in. You get a whole bunch of other rewards, and then in phase 2, you could even get him up to a 5-star soul, which means he's that much better. But okay, Skeletor's okay. He's not the best in the world, but check out who is. He-Man. And He-Man is available on the Champion Pass on the final stage. You get yourself the Elite Pass, which I think is very much worthwhile. I've done it myself. And you unlock He-Man, the master of the universe, which can be 4 legendary champions. As a brand new player in Raid Shadow Legends starting out right now, and even if you're not a new player, you can get He-Man yourself. Just go get him. Same thing with Skeletor, just go get him. What a great time to play. Not only is He-Man great in the arena, he's also great in all areas of the game in PvP, Doom Tower against bosses. He is a boss himself. This Champion Pass is here for a limited time, so make sure you jump inside of Raid Shadow Legends today. But don't do it without utilizing my link, because if you do, you'll be leaving 5 champions on the table that you wouldn't get, and that would be sad. I would shed a tear for you. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and thank you, Raid, for bringing us some awesome champions. Now, if you guys remember, MoCo originally built up a pretty passionate community around monster hunting, progression grinding, elite levels, cosmetics, and co-op gameplay. But then there was a long time of silence. But that silence has been broken because the developers have some news for us as of just a day ago. And they're preparing for what looks like a complete revamp of the game. And honestly, this is not just a small update. This is basically a total reconstruction of the entire progression system. The developers literally said everyone is going to restart at the same level when the new version launches. So everything you've played over the last year in MoCo is gonna be gone. But you'll get some things for it. Now, normally when games announce resets like this, players start to panic because nobody wants to lose months or even years of grinding. But MoCo is trying to handle this very differently by giving players what they're calling revamp rewards. Basically, they're compensating longtime players for all the time they invested into hunting chaos monsters before the launch, and honestly, some of these rewards are actually pretty substantial. Now, for regular non-elite players, the rewards scale based on your previous player level. So if you are a level 1 through level 10, you'll receive 100 Mo Gold. Levels 11 through 20, you'll get 200 Mo Gold, and so on. I think you get the idea. But things get pretty interesting for the elite players, because elite hunters get significantly more exclusive cosmetics and rewards depending on their cumulative elite hunter level access, both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And honestly, these rewards are basically going to be used to flex your veteran status. For example, players between elite levels 1 through 25 receive Soul Hunter Crimson headgear in red, then 26 through 50 unlock the headgear and matching body cosmetic. You get to 51 through 75, things escalate even more with the addition of the Chillborn Shefton headgear in a frosted gold style. Then 76 through 99, players receive both the headgear and body versions of those cosmetics. And finally, if you reach elite level 100 or higher, you get absolutely everything, including the Chillborn Minotaur Ride in frosted gold. And honestly, the mount is probably going to become one of the biggest flex items in the game after launch, because as you guys know, mounts are really cool and they are very visual in the open world when you're fighting monsters together. Some more rare rewards are going to be titles. I know I like to flex my content creator title, but not everyone's a content creator and can't have the best one. I'm sorry. The developers have announced special titles for absolute hardcore grinders. Elite level 125 plus players receive Overcharged and 150 plus receive Mega Charged, but here's the important detail. The developers specifically confirmed that these will never return, so you get them now or you get them never. So these are true legacy rewards. Now, the other major thing players are discussing right now is exactly what carries over into the new version of the game and what gets wiped completely. Now, let's be very clear. MoCo is still an ARPG style monster hunting game. The gameplay is pretty much the same. New weapons and new interactions, new monsters, new zones, new gameplay modes, yes, but the gameplay style is still what we know and love from MoCo. Also, according to the devs, players will keep all cosmetics, whether they were earned or purchased, so thank God they're not taking away our purchases. This includes titles, outfits, emotes, and other collectible cosmetics. Players also keep their MoGold currency, merch tokens, and collector level. Weapon skins will also remain attached to accounts, although players will need to unlock the related weapons again before using them. But on the flip side, a lot is getting reset. Hunter levels are being completely reset back to level 1. Chapter and project progression is disappearing entirely because the game is moving away from chapters and transitioning into a new seasonal structure instead. Elite Hunter levels are also being removed completely alongside elite modules and smart rings. And one of the biggest changes of all is the gear itself is being replaced by an entirely new weapon system. So mechanically, this sounds like a very different version of MoCo to what players remember. And if you guys want a little bit of a sneak peek as to what this actually looks like, I put a video out a few months back of my experience playing the newer version of MoCo. I'll be linking it down below, and this is the video right here. Go take a look at it because it breaks down all the new stuff. Now, another interesting announcement involves the basic merch collections. The current merch drop collections are apparently disappearing, and the developers added countdown timers to warn players before those cosmetics rotate out. Now, thankfully, they did confirm some of these outfits may eventually return later through Manny's remix offers or future shop rotations, but naturally, limited time cosmetics create urgency, and urgency creates engagement. That's one of the oldest live service strategies in gaming. Now, overall, this relaunch honestly feels like the developers are trying to completely redefine MoCo instead of simply updating it, and I can confirm that. They hadn't put a ton of advertising and promotion into the old version of MoCo because it wasn't polished and refined yet. I met with the team, I talked with the developers, I talked with all of them, and I know that the MoCo that we're going to be getting now is what they truly believe is the future of the game. All right, next let's talk about PUBG Mobile, because they literally reinvent themselves every single year, and this one's a big one. And what's crazy is that PUBG Mobile is no longer just a battle royale game at this point, it's also becoming a live entertainment platform. The newest update is one of the biggest themed events the game has done in a long time, and the reason people are talking about it so heavily right now is because it's completely changed the feeling of the game. When players log in now, the map doesn't just feel like a standard PUBG mobile game anymore. There are new theme zones, new traversal mechanics, event-based gameplay systems, limited time rewards, cosmetics, and visual redesigns that honestly make the game feel fresh again, even for veteran players. And that's important because PUBG Mobile is competing in one of the hardest game genres in all of gaming. Battle Royale games live and die based on player retention. Players get bored, they're just gonna leave immediately for another game. So developers constantly need to evolve the experience without completely destroying what made players love the game in the first place. And PUBG Mobile has become incredibly good at this. One of the smartest things they continue doing is treating updates almost like seasonal entertainment events instead of traditional patches. They don't just add weapons and bug fixes anymore. They create entire experiences. And that's exactly why the game continues staying relevant globally after all these years. Now, one of the biggest talking points around the new update is the visual spectacle. The themed content looks absolutely insane. You have redesigned areas, futuristic effects, flashy movement systems, new interactive environments, and event mechanics that completely shift how the matches flow. And this is one area where mobile gaming has changed massively over the last few years. Mobile games no longer try to look good for the phone. They're trying to compete against PC games. And that shift is happening this year in 2026. Now the game, it's super optimized, which is why it runs so smoothly across low-end devices, which also means that the game is very global for that reason. The update introduces new strategic movement options and new ways to engage enemies. This helps solve one of the biggest problems older Battle Royale games face, which is predictability. When players have played the same maps thousands of times, matches start feeling repetitive. But when you introduce dynamic event mechanics, traversal systems, and special zones, suddenly matches become chaotic again. And chaos creates excitement and makes players want to dive back in and play some more. Most mobile games burn bright for a year or two and then they kind of fade out and die. But PUBG Mobile, it's continuously evolving and growing because this update has got players completely locked in. Next up, we need to talk about Rainbow Six Mobile because this game is becoming one of the most interesting competitive mobile shooters we've seen in years. And this is one we've been waiting for a while. Now, for a long time, people believed tactical shooters simply could not work properly on mobile. Games like Rainbow Six rely heavily on precision, communication, strategy, sound design, angles, and coordinated team play. The type of gameplay is difficult to translate onto touchscreens, but Ubisoft seems to be proving people wrong. As the game continues rolling out globally, more players are finally getting their hands on it, and the reception overall has been surprisingly positive. Although, is it really that surprising? A lot of people were looking forward to this one. Now, the reason that this matters so much is because the mobile FPS market has mostly been dominated by fast-paced arcade shooters or battle royale games. Games like Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, as we were just talking about, focus on speed, action, movement, and accessibility. Rainbow Six, though, is different. It's slower, more methodical, more strategic, and honestly, this might actually help it stand out. Instead of trying to directly replace existing shooters, Ubisoft is carving out a completely different identity. The gameplay focuses heavily on teamwork and planning, breaching walls, holding defensive angles, using operator gadgets strategically, listening carefully for footsteps, communicating enemy positions. This creates a much more tense gameplay experience. And I think this is smart, because if you go and just try to replace an existing game in a genre, say another Battle Royale game, you have to have players choose to leave their current Battle Royale game to play a new one, which is very difficult to do. But bringing in a new genre, well, that brings in a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential, and also, for gamers, a lot of interest. Most mobile shooters prioritize non-stop action because they assume players have short attention spans, which many do. Rainbow Six Mobile is betting that mobile players are now mature enough to enjoy slower tactical gameplay. And honestly, I think they might be right. Mobile gamers in 2026 are very different from where they were 10 years ago. A huge portion of the audience now grew up playing competitive console and PC games. They want deeper mechanics. They want skill expression. They want ranked competition. And Rainbow Six Mobile taps directly into that audience. Now, visually, the game also looks great. The lighting, environmental destruction, animations, operator designs feel very authentic to the Rainbow Six franchise. And the authenticity matters because Ubisoft knows hardcore Rainbow Six fans are watching the game carefully. If the mobile version felt watered down, players would reject it immediately. But surprisingly, it actually captures much of what makes Rainbow Six unique. And another huge factor is the esports potential, of course. Competitive mobile gaming continues to grow globally at a ridiculous pace. Especially in regions like Asia, mobile esports are enormous. So Ubisoft kept this in mind and definitely placed their game in a prime position to be involved in all of that. If Ubisoft wants long-term success for this title, they need to balance competitive depth with beginner accessibility. And that's difficult. But if they pull it off, Rainbow Six Mobile could become one of the most important competitive mobile games over the next few years. Now let's talk about one that I've seen you guys talking about so much in the comments section. A lot of you guys are excited for Racing Master. The game's from NetEase and is generating huge hype right now because people genuinely can't believe this is running on phones. And honestly, after watching gameplay, I understand why. Graphics are absurd. The lighting, reflections, car models, weather effects, the sense of speed. The game looks closer to a console racer than what most people imagine when they think of mobile games. And this is part of the larger trend happening in the industry right now. Mobile hardware has become incredibly powerful. Smartphones can now run experiences that would have been impossible just a few years ago. Developers are finally starting to fully push the software, and Racing Master feels like one of the clearest examples of this evolution. Now, people aren't just excited about graphics. A lot of mobile racing games look decent visually but fail mechanically, but Racing Master appears to be taking physics and driving feel much more seriously. The cars actually feel weighty. Cornering looks realistic. Drifting appears skill-based rather than completely arcade-focused, and the balance is extremely important because the game seems to be aiming directly at both casual mobile players and hardcore racing fans. And of course, they have everything that people want in a car game, like customization, collecting wheels, showing off your rare cars. It's all there. Now, NetEase has a strong reputation. I mean, they're all over the mobile gaming space, so I truly believe that when they're putting out a product, it's going to be pretty good and in line with what we know from them, what they typically put out. If the competitive systems are strong inside of this one, if the progression feels rewarding, if customization is satisfying, the game could become a really strong racing title that players play for years. And I think that it could be realistic that that actually happens. Finally, let's talk about another big story, and this one involves anime. Whether you're into anime or not, it's big because anime-inspired mobile RPGs are absolutely dominating in 2026. And I'm not talking about one or two games. I mean, entire genre is exploding. Everywhere you look right now, there's new anime-style RPGs launching, trending, hitting pre-registration milestones, or generating huge communities online. And honestly, the trend makes sense. Artwork styles are incredibly well done and they look great on mobile. The visuals are striking. Also, the gacha mechanic inside of these games are pretty addicting and has a large amount of players that are into that type of gameplay. A few years ago, many anime mobile RPGs felt relatively simple mechanically, but today, some of the games have progression quality approaching AAA titles. Fully voiced storylines, massive open worlds, real-time combat systems, cinematic cutscenes, complex progression, multiplayer, live events. The games are basically enormous now. Oh, and you may be wondering, what are some of the games that we're talking about? We're talking about Arknight's Enfield, Dragon Raja Re-Rise, Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, and Solo Leveling Arise. These are just 5, a small handful of the games that are just dominating the anime space. Now, one reason that this keeps growing is because anime is getting more and more popular globally. Anime is more mainstream now than ever before, and younger audiences, especially, are deeply connected to anime culture online. So anime-inspired games naturally benefit from the entire ecosystem. Now, the challenge moving forward is oversaturation. Are there going to be too many anime RPGs out there, and is it going to dilute the player base across multiple games? I guess time will tell, but hopefully those really good ones stick. So overall right now, mobile gaming seems stacked. Things are in a good place, and I'm super excited about the release of MoCo's newest version. Let me know which story from today's list you're the most excited about and what type of games you're into.